out there in You Can Learn Guitar Land? Today we're going to do a demo of a couple pedals. Some of my new favorites actually. Wampler. They make fuzzes, overdrives, compressors, choruses. They're on a ton of pros boards. I mean, they're awesome. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a clip on one called a Pinnacle Deluxe and one called a Triple Rec. Now keep in mind when you check the site, you're going to be like, woo, they seem expensive. But, A, they're 2-in-1, so you get a distortion and a boost in both of them. And the Triple Rec, which is the high gain one, which I just started off with, that one's actually like a distortion and a fuzz. So keep in mind, they're not that expensive and you're getting 2 for 1. All right, so let's check them out. All right, so again, we're going to do a little quick demo on some Wampler pedals I've been checking out. This one actually is my buddy's. It's a really high gain pedal called the Triple Rec. Now the Triple Rec simulates your Mesa Boogies, your Bogners, you know, all those real high gain modern metal amp sounds. You get a lot of really good classic old school Metallica tones and everything. And as well, it has a boost function that's is almost like a Big Muff, which is real fuzzy. It's really cool. You get really awesome sustain. When you kick on a note, you can really hang on it for a long time. Very, very cool. So it's got a lot of controls. There's 2 different voicings on the amp, brutal and hard. Brutal would be more of a trebly modern voiced, whereas the hard is a little bit smoother. So then you have a volume and a gain. Then you have a boost contour. You have treble, mids, and bass. So with all these controls, you can get just a huge array of just epic killer metal tones. So let's start with the gain, you know, not too much, about 10 o'clock. I got the treble. Well, you can see the treble's about, you know, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 12 on the bass, right? So let's kick on the pedal. Right, so it's got a fair amount of gain. Now if we turn the gain up, lots of gain. I mean, very, very cool pedal. So we can mess around with this brutal. We're on the brutal voicing. Now let's see what happens when we move around the knobs here. So let's turn down the mids, turn up the treble. Now what's happened when we switch to the hard setting? Let's see. That's brutal. Go to the hard. So lots of settings there. So let's turn up the treble actually. Turn up the mids a little bit, turn back the bass, see what we got. Turn the gain all the way up. Okay, so let's see what happens when we kick on the boost. turn back the gain. So very cool. Okay, so now let's go over to the Pinnacle Deluxe. Now the Pinnacle Deluxe is what you would consider like a Van Halen kind of sound. A good, 80s Marshall. They can get some just ripping gain tones, but it's not like totally saturated sound like the other pedal that we just heard. So this is better for a lot of like 70s, 80s rock, like I said, your Van Halens, your Rats, your, just sick pedal. It also has a boost, and it also has one of those switches between the voicings. Now this pedal doesn't have quite as many tonal options, but you can get a lot of different sounds between this tone and this contour. So then the other two buttons are volume, which is the overall volume of the pedal, and gain, which is the distortion amount. So let's take a listen to what this pedal sounds like. Very cool. So here's what the tone and contour do. Right, so you can get a lot of different sounds on this one. Let's give it to the modern. So we got, again, it gets more of the high-end kicking. Right, so you can get some cool, sick old Marshall tones too. Let's kick the boost on. have it. The Wampler Triple Rec and the Pinnacle. Both more high gain pedals. Very sick pedals. And they clean up really well when you roll down your guitar's volume, which is kind of rare with high gain pedals. Now, for some of you out there, you'll probably say, well, they're kind of expensive. So here's my advice. I've had 1,000,000 amps, 1,000,000 pedals, and I've found that in the end, when I've spent the money that I thought, oh man, that's a lot. Not that money's everything or that expensive stuff is better, but in the end for me, and what I found is when I save my money and I get the pedal like this, or like the divided by 13 amp that I have, or any of the other pedals like this El Capistan on my board, I've really noticed a difference in my tone when I play with the band. So that's really important. These pedals may or may not be for you. If you're into that 80s metal, Van Halen, these pedals work really good with all different kinds of amps, which is another thing that certain pedals won't do. If you have a Vox or a Fender or a Marshall or whatever, different pedals react very differently depending on what kind of amp you're playing out of. And these Wampler pedals, from what I've seen, and I've played them through a lot of different formats, work really well. So check out the site. It's wamplerpedals.com, and give it a shot, man. There's tons of pros using them. You got Brent Mason, Brad Paisley. They make a lot of different kinds of pedals: fuzzes, overdrives, distortions, delays, choruses, all sorts of just really awesome pedals. And they have a really good YouTube section where people are doing demos. So you can listen to mine, you can listen to who's ever's. Also, you know, see if there's any links from Marty. He loves you. You can always go to Marty's songs or any of that great stuff, guitarjams.com, and check out his tutorials, his free songs that he does. He's got hundreds of tunes on his other YouTube sites. Type in Marty Schwartz, you'll get a whole smattering of videos. But anyways, back to the pedals. Check them out. I'm lucky I'm in California, so that we have them at a lot of guitar stores around here, but I'm sure that you can find one in your area. If not, there's a lot of sites you can check out pedals on. If you just type in the name of the pedals, you get a lot of different YouTube clips. So anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.